This is a wear case which I recently completed for this patient here who had wear on the lower left hand side. So if you look at the picture, you can see her bottom left hand side, basically from the midpoint, from the lower left one, kind of across, especially to the lower left 4 or 5 position, was quite worn down. Now, that's quite a weird pattern of wear. It's built up probably over many years, and it's quite strange that it's just on one side. I completed the bridge on the top a few years ago, and this wear was already there, so it's very historic. And as is the case often in the real world of dentistry, the top was the priority at the time. The wear was left for a while, and it got to the point where she decided she wanted to fix it. So what did we do? Now, if you are restoring wear like this, the first decision which I think you want to make is, when you're restoring, do you conform to the occlusion that's there, or do you change the occlusion? Now, if that wear was across all of the lower anteriors fairly evenly, I would probably change the occlusion. What I would tend to do there is build up all the worn teeth, and then that would open the bite slightly, and you would hope and rely on some dial effect for things adapting over time. That's often what I would do. In this scenario, because it's on one side, it's an unusual distribution. Personally, I decided to conform to the occlusion. So that's decision one. The next decision is, what material do you use? And generally, it's a decision between composite or porcelain. So composite, in my opinion, is easier to adjust and more conservative. So you can add it on in smaller amounts, and you don't have to prep the tooth as much. But porcelain has a very good wear resistance over a long period of time, and the aesthetics are very good. It doesn't stain as easily, but if it chips, it's harder to repair. So, as is often the case with something like this, I decided to use composite because I thought it was more conservative. I thought it was the right situation here. And if it does chip when things are bedding in and she's getting used to it, it's easy for me to repair. It's also lower cost, which is very relevant in the everyday situation of dentistry. So, moving on from that, we've decided to conform to the occlusion. We've decided to use composite. And the next question is, how did we do it? So what we did was prep the teeth a small amount. Because if you just add to the teeth there, I think you'd have such a small amount of composite that it would either such a small amount that it would just flake off, or there's not much bond strength and there's hardly any room to add any, or you add so much that then the bite is just resting on these teeth that you've built up. So I did a small reduction where you can see that the cusps of the premolar and some of those bits by the lower left one, there's just fragile enamel that's just sharp from being worn down and chipped away. I smoothed that off, rounded it, and just reduced a little bit to give me a little bit of space. And after I'd reduced a little bit, what I did was restore kind of the coronal third. So I restored obviously the tips of the incisors and the occlusal surface of the premolar, and then I extended the composite probably a third of the way down the tooth, just blending it into the tooth to try and get a smooth join into the tooth that I could feather and polish so that it would be hopefully seamless and not noticeable. And it also helps a bit with the bond strength, because if you just bond a little blob on the top, it's not super strong. It's just sort of balancing on the top with a little bit of enamel, and those, they can work, but one of the problems often is them chipping off. So I tend to wrap the composite around a little bit to give it a bit more grip. So I did that on a few teeth. I think it was 3 or 4 teeth, and I'll show you the after result here. So this is the result at the end after some polishing. I was really pleased with how it looked. She was really pleased. It also makes the teeth just look a bit flatter, a bit more even across the front, because previously it looked like, especially when she was speaking, there was a bit of a cant across her lower anteriors. And if you're being critical, there still is a slight one, but there was a limit to how much we could build it up without then having to adjust the bridge opposing it a lot. So restored using composite because it was conservative, easy to repair, and it should last well, and we conformed with the existing occlusion. So if you've got any questions, anything you'd like to know about this case or things you'd be interested to see, just let us know in the comments. And if you like this sort of video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much for watching.